Right.
And then make so I'm going to share my screen as well.
You okay?
Okay. So today we are looking at Agile or Scrum project management, or Agile Scrum project management, because Agile on its own, it's nothing on itself. You must have a particular methodology for it to become a framework. Okay. So
Yes.
so what is Scrum? I didn't intend to go directly into Scrum. My plan was to treat project life cycle and software development life cycle before I could then explain Agile and Agile Scrum, but I didn't have enough time to prepare that. So hopefully we'll do this today. Then next week I'm going to deal with the different life cycles of project and software development life cycle and how each methodology sits on top of these life cycles to deliver an end product. So Agile Scrum in 100 words. So Scrum is an agile process that allows us to focus on delivering the highest business value in the shortest time. It allows us to rapidly and repeatedly inspect actual working software. So the first two bullet points is basically trying to give us a quick understanding of what Scrum is. But before I go ahead, my mind is still bordering around project life cycle and software development life cycle. Please, do we know the both life cycles, project life cycles, and each stages of the project life cycles?
Can you go over that, please?
Do we know each stages of project life cycles?
No, I can't remember.
Okay.
I found a few places.
Yeah.
Please ask me a question.
So do you mean the waterfall and
No, the waterfall is software development life cycle.
cycle? Okay, yeah, so
Yeah,
SDLC.
Yeah.
The project life cycle.
Yeah, project life cycle has 4 stages: the initiation stage, the planning stage, the execution stage, and the delivery stage. So in the idealization or the initial stage is where the project board come together to agree on embarking on a particular project. Technically, they use the word project board, but it can be an individual that wants to achieve a particular objective. For example, you want to buy your spouse a dress. That is a project, okay? So, but the initial stage is for you to first and foremost think about what you want to get for your spouse. Someone's phone is ringing. Hello, Dr. Sheon, your phone is ringing. Is she there? Bidemi, let's just hold on a second.
All right.
It's okay, because Rosie, give me your phone. Just bring it down right now. Yes, but I was told about that meeting to do that. Are you going to right now? I'm told about the meeting right now. I'm in a meeting. I'll call you at this time. Sorry, Joe. Apologies, I should have muted this.
Okay, are you ready? Are you okay?
Yes, please, thank you.
All right. As I was saying, that we have 4 stages in project life cycle. The project initialization stage, where you the project board come together to agree to embark on a particular project. It is not necessarily, or it is not a must for it to be something like that. The project board will come together. It could also be a situation whereby an individual decide to embark on a particular project. For example, as I was saying initially, you want to get your spouse a gift. Okay, so you don't need a project board to come together and agree to get your spouse a gift. You as an individual, you can decide on that. But when it comes to organization, we use the word project board, because even a single executive can decide on a particular project, or an owner of a company. Okay, but technically the project board comes together, which is in the initialization stage, agree on embarking on the project, come up with a project charter and a business case for that project. Once that is complete, then they appoint someone as the project manager to plan the project, which is the second stage of the project life cycle. So at the second stage, the project manager will now start looking at things like resources, the time, the cost, what will be the quality of the end product, what will be the possible risk of the product, okay, and the resources. Who do we need to carry out this, to execute this project? So all this will be worked out in the planning stage by the project manager. After that, that's when we move to the execution stage, where we actually create this product. It could be a construction product, it could be a website, it could be a mobile app, it could also even be planning a wedding. So in the execution stage is where the team come together and produce the actual product. Are we all together?
Yeah.
So we have the first stage, the project initialization. The second stage is project planning. The third stage is the execution. And when we start talking about Scrum, waterfall, or the various methodology when it comes to building a web application, it is at the execution stage that the Scrum process kickstarts. It is at the execution stage that we can use Prince 2 to deliver the particular project or the particular product of the project. Then after the execution stage, that's when we now move to the closing stage of the product of the project, whereby we deliver the actual product and also any other artifacts that needs to be delivered to the board or to the project owner or to the public that uses that particular product. Am I making any sense here?
Yeah. So what do you use as planning? Planning and initiation. You don't need. It's not Prince 2 environment or whatever. Everything is execution.
Yeah, everything. Prince 2 actually combine both it takes the full project life cycle, then interject other part in terms of the execution stage, whereby it delivers its project like stage by stages. You know, in Prince 2, you have what is called managing by stage. Okay, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah. So in Prince 2 takes the full 4 stages of project life cycle, then interjects managing by stage in the execution stage. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this
Manage
still
the stage
yeah. Is this still confusing?
at execution.
Yeah. But do you know what? I'll cover Prince 2 maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
focus on Agile.
Yeah, let's focus on Agile for now, so that we don't miss it out. But in the 4 stages here, it is at the execution stage that we have the software development life cycle.
Okay.
I am with my daughter here, and she's going to disturb me because I wanted to turn on my camera and show a whiteboard so that I can give a description of what I'm explaining. That would
It's
make it
okay. We all have children. Doesn't stop anything.
okay. Just give me 1 second. Let me just set this up.
How do I change my calculator on YouTube? Nicole, I'm not going to tell about YouTube now. I'm making activities.
Okay, share my screen. Let me see. This will be better. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can you see my screen, Dr. Sheon? She there?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool.
I can. I'm here.
All right. So we have project life cycle PLC. Okay.
Okay.
So in the PLC we have stage 1, initiation, stage 2, planning, stage 3,
Execution.
execution, and stage 4, closing a project. Okay. So in these 4 stages, we now move out and have our software development life cycle. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
It it is at this software development life cycle we have different methodologies or methods.
Okay.
And one of the methods we have the Agile method. Agile has multiple type of Agile. Okay.
Okay.
Then we have the waterfall, and also Prince 2. Also, you can also have Prince 2 here, but they don't normally add Prince 2 there. But Prince 2 manages its project like waterfall methodology. So I will leave that aside. So we are more concerned about Agile, and we are more concerned about Agile Scrum. You can see that part of the board. Okay.
Okay.
So does this make better sense now to us?
Yeah.
Teaching online is a bit crazy, but I like writing on board. It's easier to get
easier,
So
sorry, PLC. That's
after the software development lifecycle is SDLC.
Yeah, project. This is project lifecycle
development lifecycle.
Okay. Sorry, is this project management that we are doing today?
We are doing Agile project management, but it is Agile Scrum. Yeah, is a methodology that you need to understand. It doesn't matter if you're a project manager or a business.
Right.
IT today, it's a methodology you must understand because of how important it is to developing software.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So the other method, we call them the traditional method, are okay to develop construction project, but for software project, because you can jump one stage before going to the next stage, then it is more important to use an agile method. That's just the essence of me doing this class. Okay, so I guess we now understand where the software development lifecycle kickstarts at this stage of execution. So yeah, so we can use Scrum to manage the software development lifecycle. Okay, so let me illustrate the stages of the software development lifecycle for us as well. So in the software development lifecycle, we have did you take note of this? Can I clean this?
Yes.
Yeah, sure, you can.
Okay. So for the software development lifecycle, we have the requirement stage, which is the first stage. So software So the stage one, we have the requirement stage. Okay.
Okay.
This involves requirement gathering, analysis, and validation. Okay. Then 2, we have the design stage. So in the design stage,
sorry, the validation. What are we validating there?
Okay, so when the business analyst gathers his requirement or her requirement, okay, that's the first thing, as in speaking to different stakeholders, organizing one-on-one meeting or a workshop, or reviewing the current system, understanding the current process. After doing that, then you will now ask for what do we want the future product to look like. We use gap analysis for the analysis stage and to analyze our requirement. After we finish analyzing our requirement, We'll then document the requirement. Once you document the requirement, you need to validate the requirement with the business or with the project board. You get what I'm saying? To figure out, okay, is it exactly what you're asking me to do? Is this how you want your product or your software to behave? So you, as a business analyst, you need to validate that. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So requirement involves gathering, analysis, and validation. Then in the design stage of requirement, you design both front end design and back end design. Okay. So you design both front end and back end of the.
Okay, front end. Okay. Front end and back end.
Yeah. So some of the tools to design front end is like the wireframe, while the back end is like the data class diagrams. Okay. So for front end, you can use what we call wireframes, and for back end, you can use process map or
can you use the transition
diagram. Pardon? What did you say?
Did you say class diagram?
Yes, class diagram. As in class. Yeah.
Is that the name of the software?
No, it's a diagram that you draw to mimic classes.
It's like a transition diagram, right?
Not transition. It's like how the database, or okay, you know, in software development, every entity is called a class. An entity could be customer.
Oh, yeah.
An entity could be a customer. An entity could be another system, a third-party system. Okay. So each entity we have its own class, like a classroom, and a class will have its characteristics. Like a customer, we have first name, last name, email address, photo, and blah blah blah. That's what we call class diagram. So we can now see how each entity associates itself with one another. But we can't go into that because we are not dealing with software development lifecycle in full today.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you guys want us to deal with software development lifecycle, you guys can vote on the channel, then on the WhatsApp group, then we can deal with that. So that is the design stage, front end and back end. Then after the design is done, you move to the test stage, which is what the development stage. Okay. At this point is where the actual product or software is delivered. Okay.
You mean that they start to code the
code the software, all the business logic, both the back end and front end, the database will be created. Okay. Are we together?
Yes.
All right. So once the coding starts, or once the coding is finished, that's when we move to the fourth stage, which is the testing stage, where the software tester will now test the application. Okay.
Okay.
So design the development. I mean development. These things are so tiny. The actual what?
Product delivered. The actual product is delivered. Then let me put here coding. Let me just use the word coding the product. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Then the 4 is to test.
Yeah. Then once testers are happy that it meets the
customer requirement or the
meets,
acceptance criteria.
yeah, it meets acceptance criteria, requirement, customer requirement, all of those ones. Once that is they are happy, then we move to the fifth stage, which is the let me use the word release stage. That is when you now release it to the general public. Then
Release or delivery.
yeah, release, delivery. They are both technical languages. Then we move, after it is released, then we move to the maintenance stage.
Okay.
Because every project will always have an end product, and the end product must be maintained. Let me give an example. Sorry, I cut you off. Like when there's a project to construct a road, you get what I'm saying? It is a short time. It takes them a short 3 months, 1 month, whatever, to do the actual construction, but the road will still need to be maintained. You get what I'm saying? The building we are living in today, they are not constructing it anymore, they are maintaining it. So also with software, because of new technology will come up, because of the way the business is being run will change. Like Brexit has made a lot of business um, run their businesses differently, and they must be able to replicate that in their software as well. All right, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say that, okay, software maintenance will be maintained for as long as that software exists.
Yeah.
Okay, and even those apps that we see on phones, they are always being maintained.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So if I don't do this, I don't think I would have had any justice carrying on with this class today. That's why I did this. Does anyone have any question here? No question?
I think it should be fine. So we have 6 stages, right?
Yeah.
For SDLC,
Yeah.
software development lifecycle.
Yes.
So requirements, so we cover gathering, analysis, and validation. You have the design.
Yeah.
You have both front end and back end design.
Yeah.
And part of the front end, if we use wireframe,
Yeah.
and the back end could be process mapping.
Yeah, or class
Then
diagram.
3 or class diagram. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then development,
okay.
you can have actual product development.
Yeah. Go on.
Okay. Actual product delivery. That's for the development. Then you get to testing, where you see if it meets acceptance criteria
Yes.
or user, requirements.
Yes.
Then 5 is the release stroke delivery.
Yeah.
So then 6 is the maintenance.
Yes.
And that's the SDLC.
Yeah, that's the software development life cycle.
So David, anytime you go to work in an IT environment, basically this is what happens there.
It depends on what you are doing.
Obviously, where they build applications or softwares, or
yes.
they maintain. Basically, yes. this is what happens. Nothing else happens apart from these stages. And now these different stages are can be broken down into individual stages and expanded.
Yeah, I started out with project life cycle. So
okay, project life cycle. Okay.
Because the project manager will obviously be managing different, the project manager will be managing the project and the project risk. Okay, while the delivery team, maybe a product owner in terms of Agile, will be managing the product risk. But we have about four life cycles in any given company. Look, when we talk about IT company, the IT company is actually dealing with real product. Okay, let's not forget that. You are, as an IT
real
company,
product.
yes, as in real business situation. Banking, they have IT department, but what are they dealing with? They are dealing with actual banking products. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't just say IT. Oh, I'm building software. No,
Okay.
you are actually solving a real life problem with the banking mobile apps. You can do a lot of transactions that you could not do many years ago. So let's not miss that point. So yeah. So you said something, Mr. Joshua, that is this what we do on a day-to-day basis? Yes, but it's far more than that. We have our project life cycle. We then have software development life cycle. We have, as a tester, you have your testing life cycle. In between, inside your testing life cycle, you still have defect life cycle. But during the maintenance stage, we have what is called business change life cycle, which is like product life cycle as well. Because for you to maintain, but I can't go into that today. There are about 5-6 life cycles that you need to have a good grip of.
Okay.
But you don't need to have them for you to get a job. However, there are these life cycles. If you want to take it down, I can list them out. I can clean this and list them out so that we have that understanding behind us. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So if you have it on a slide, you could just send it to us instead.
Yeah, the slide is not yet.
So I would just want to confirm, David, project life cycle, software development life cycle, testing life cycle, business change life cycle, and which other one?
And for testers, you have your defect life cycle. That's specifically for tester. But as a project manager, you need to still understand, okay, what is happening with that risk that is happening. But for a tester, you have defect life cycle as well. Defect, bug life cycle.
Okay, bug. Okay, yeah, bug. Okay, bug life cycle.
Okay, so to some people, maybe the business life cycle.
So that's 5. So that's 5.
Yeah.
So what's the 6th one?
No, I didn't. I've not really put them in number. You've counted it correctly. I say 5 or 6, so you've counted 5. Okay. That's 5. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So to some people, business change life cycle might sound new, but I've seen a lot of business analysts that don't even know about business change life cycle, and it is very key for a business analyst to understand that part, because when during the maintenance stage, when a customer requests for something, that person has kickstarted a new change, which is a business change that they want that particular product to deliver for them. Okay, so it will now go through its own stage as well before we decide to actually deliver that. But for today's class, that will not be covered. Mr. Okay, welcome. Mr. Stephen, okay, welcome. The slide is not yet.
Thank you. I hope your video is being recorded.
I'm recording it.
Your video is being recorded.
I'm recording it. Don't worry.
Thank you. Because I'm in between trains. I'm just in between trains, so I'll soon disappear.
Okay. Madam, say you
hello, Mrs. Okay. Hello, Mrs. Okay.
I'm getting you too.
Stay focused. You are in class.
All right. Okay, so we can now go to the slide. I'll leave the board if there's anything I need to explain on the board. I think with the board it makes it even better.
Yeah.
So I'll leave the board and we can go through the slide. Then maybe if there's anything else I can use the board for.
What we're doing is Agile Scrum. But we're able to get to Agile, we decided to describe product life cycle. Product life cycle got us to talking about the software development life cycle. Is that right?
Yes. Because that's absolutely correct. And you need a particular methodology to deliver the software, which is
deliver the software. That's why we're now going to Agile Scrum.
Exactly. All right. I'll close that now. So I said the Scrum is an agile process that allows us focus on delivering the highest quality business value in the shortest time. It allows us to rapidly and repeatedly inspect actual working product or software every 2 weeks to 1 month. So the business sets the priority, the team self-organized to determine the best way to deliver the highest priority feature every 2 weeks to 1 month. Anyone can see real working software and decide to release it or continue to enhance it in another sprint. So what am I saying here? I think I might still need to show something on the board. Okay. So can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it possible, yeah, when you are constructing a building or constructing a house, a story building, yeah, is it possible to build the top floor before you build the ground floor?
It's not possible.
Okay, but for
anything is possible.
but you cannot put the up. You can actually customize it somewhere, but when you're putting it together, you can't put the top floor before you put the ground floor.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? I agree with you. Everything is possible these days, but there's still some limits. But when it comes to software, is it possible to build some part before building another part?
I think we have a little project managers in the house.
Of course.
He's assisting daddy.
Yeah, she's the next project manager. Okay. So what we are basically trying to say there is this: the traditional methodology of building cars or constructing a house is what we started using to build software, and we had a lot of problems. Okay, so with Agile now, instead of building our product stage by stage, we can now repeatedly build piece by piece. Okay, I've already cleaned that stage, but let me just have this. This is requirement, design, development, testing, deliver, and maintain. Okay, so instead of finishing one stage before we move to the other stage, we can take a little bit of the requirement, a little bit of the design, a little development, a little testing, a little release and maintenance. So instead of delivering the software in a big bang approach, we will now iterate the release processes. That is basically what this initial slide is trying to explain to us.
Is that what Scrum is?
That is Agile Scrum, yes. So
okay.
We are trying to deliver software iteratively.
Or bit by bit.
Yeah. So maybe when I move to the next slide, it's going to make it better. Okay. So now, what are the characteristics of an Agile team or a Scrum team? He said the team is self-organizing team. product progress is in series of month-long sprint. It could be less, maybe 2-week sprint or maximum 1 month sprint. Requirements are captured as item in a list of product backlog. No specific engineering practice prescribed. Uses generative rules to create an agile environment for delivering project and one of the agile process. So the characteristic of an agile team is that we are self-organizing. What does this mean? That means that we know what we are doing. We can deal with what we are doing ourselves. We understand our product. We don't need anybody at the top to come and instruct us. And we are delivering this project or this product bit by bit because it is a software. But if it wasn't a software, then that wouldn't have been possible. And if we were delivering our project or our product in a big bang approach, that means we have to wait for 2, 3, 4, 5 months to finish the requirement stage. And by the time the requirement stage is finished, maybe something would have changed in the economy. The requirement will then become redundant. But as an agile team, we are more responsive to market changes as well.
Sorry, I can't see anything on your screen now.
Is it?
Yeah, your screen is blank.
Are you the only one that can others can't see my screen?
No.
Oh. Okay, I will. I will close the screen and share it again. Can you see it now?
No. Yes, I can see it now.
All right. Sorry about that. So, what are the Agile Manifestos? What does the Agile Manifestos mean? You know, the Agile principles started out when some group of developers came together and said, do you know what, the way we are building software using the waterfall method is not working because a lot of time we are having problems. So they now have a set of principles that they use to deliver software. And one of the principle or statements is that we value individual and interaction over process and tools. Okay, the waterfall principle or methodology is more concerned about process. You have to finish stage 1 to move to stage 2 and tools. But with Agile, we value individual and their interaction. People need to come together and agree, not someone sitting down and putting down a process somewhere and making sure that people follow it or not. Okay, then we believe in working software over comprehensive documentation. And obviously, the traditional method, you have to document your requirement in a business requirement document. But with Agile, all you need is a user story. Do you know what? The user wants ABC. Let's give him ABC. We don't have to wait to write everything the user wants first before we start delivering it to the user. That is why we can see that our applications today get updates every now and then. Okay? Then the third one is that, yeah. The third one is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. So because our software is already in the market, even though we know that we've not fully built it, customers are using it and they are feeding back to us. So we are now collaborating with them. Rather than signing a contract at the start of the project, then go back to finish the project before you come back to the customer. No, we are interacting with them on a day-to-day basis. Then responding to change over following a plan. That is just the contract negotiation, collaboration with customer over contract negotiation and responding to change is similar in sort of way because your application is being used and you are now responding to whatever questions that the customer is throwing back. like 2 months ago, I look at my bank statement on my mobile app. I saw double transactions of everything is double. I was wondering why. I had to call the bank, and they have to check it out and check with the IT team because of what they are working in an agile setting, so they could make changes quickly, unlike the traditional method. Okay.
You mean in a traditional method they won't be able to make changes?
Everything is they are able to make change, but it takes longer.
Okay.
You got what I'm saying? They don't have milestone to track or check. They can make changes, but sometimes it will take 6 months for them to respond to change because of what they are in a particular stage in terms of their software development. And obviously, how does waterfall works? It's a big bang approach. Big bang in the sense that they deliver a software. It takes them 1 year to update the software. If you guys can remember, the software back in those days, it takes a long time. When there's an update, it's a big thing that is going to happen. I don't know if anybody can remember.
The only one that I remember is the Millennium software updates.
Okay, banking software those days, it takes them whenever they are doing an update, it's like a special thing that is happening, a special ceremony that is happening for a particular time.
They have to probably have to bring down the entire software. People stop using it for a while.
Yeah.
And they will make announcements.
And that's what I'm saying. Okay, so what is the Scrum framework that I've been talking about? So, hello?
Yeah, hello.
Are you the only one there? Like everyone has gone quiet.
I'm here.
Okay, yeah, I know you're having your code. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So I'm trying to move. I'm trying to move the distance, so I won't disturb you guys.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So the Agile Scrum process, unlike the traditional method, we have some of the Agile artifacts. We have our Agile Scrum artifact, the Scrum ceremony, and the Scrum processes. So this is one of the Scrum representing all the artifacts, the ceremony, and the process. So unlike writing our requirement in a requirement document, in the Scrum process, we have what is called our product backlog. We have our product backlog. And our product backlog at the bottom of my screen here, you can see product backlog. Product backlog is a direct representation of our business requirement document. It is where we document all our user stories. So from the product backlog, we now create what is called our sprint goals. So some of the user stories or some of the requirement for that particular sprint will be taken to our sprint backlog or our sprint goals, which we will now use to create our sprint backlogs. The sprint backlog is all the features that we want to give our customer for within the particular period of time, maybe within 2 weeks or within 1 month. And usually, it takes us 2 to 4 weeks to deliver a particular software to our customers.
From requirement to delivery.
Yes.
No matter how big the organization is.
Yeah.
Or no matter how complex the requirement is.
Well, no matter how complex the requirement is, it takes us 2 weeks. If we are unable to deliver within that 2 weeks, we take it to the next sprint. Okay. So that's why Agile is very, very flexible. It's not about process. It's about the highest, trying to deliver the highest quality to our customers or clients.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the end of each sprint, you will have what is called our shippable product. That means we've been able to deliver a particular chunk of work. I'm going to show. I'm going to draw up something on my board and show you guys very soon. That will be better. So at the end of the 2 weeks or 4 weeks, we have our potential shippable product, which will then be part of our software. So if you can check your mobile phone, maybe if you are using Android, if you go to the Google Play, you see updates. If you are using your iPhone, you see like my iPhone currently, I have up to 58 updates waiting for me to update. It's because both of these companies that are producing these apps now, they are working in an agile environment. That means every 2 weeks or every 1 week or every month, they are delivering an additional feature to the software. Okay, does that make any sense?
Yes.
All right. So putting everything together, you have your product backlog, which is a combination of all of your features. Let me do something that I'm not supposed to. I'm not sure I should do this, but let me do this quickly. Let me see. Fruit. So I want to show you guys something very quick. Let me go to projects. Then I'll come back to that later. So our product backlog is like our requirement document, okay? That means like you want to create a website, for instance. The website has a home page, has a login page, has a registration page, has a checkout page, has a payment page, and has a product display page. Let's just assume that's the website we want to build. Our product backlog is everything that should be on the product backlog that we want to build. I want to share my
your product backlog.
Yeah.
Is it, how is it different from the requirements?
Okay, just 1 second. I want to bring out my. Let me show my board again. All right. Oops. Okay. You know, when you are creating your requirement document for a website or a mobile app, the website we have home page. The home page will comprise of a lot of things there. Okay, you might have registration, login, product display page, checkout page, with all the things that they need there. Okay, So this will be your website requirement. Okay. So if you are working in a waterfall environment, you create what is called business requirement document. That's where you capture all this information. But if you are working in an agile environment, all you need to do is to write user story, maybe 5 user stories for homepage, maybe 2 user stories for registration. Instead of now creating a big document that takes us 6 months to create, we can write only homepage requirement, which might take us just 1 week or 2 weeks. Okay, so all these requirements that we put together is what we call our product backlog. Everything here will become our product backlog.
So which is almost the same thing as the requirements.
Exactly. That is our requirement. So what you are seeing,
because I'm surprised why they are calling it product backlog, and at the same time,
I will explain to you why they are calling it product backlog.
Okay.
One, the website we are creating is a product.
Okay.
Okay. So that's why that's where the word product comes from. Then the backlog means we are what we want to work on. You have backlog of job to do.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So this website is our product, and because we've not delivered the homepage, it is a backlog of tasks to do.
Okay.
That is why it's called product backlog. So in the diagram, you can see we now take a chunk and create what is called sprint backlog. Okay. So we can now decide to take only home page, for instance. Say we want to deliver home page in the next 2 weeks. And this home page alone, might have more than one feature, because your home page might have your profile, your maybe category, and all of this now will become our user stories. User story 1, user story 2 to infinity. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So that is our user story, which is what we have in our diagram here in our sprint backlog. That means out of the huge list of product backlog, we are planning to just deliver only homepage first. So now we have our sprint backlog there. Then we will now move to our active sprint, which is the 2 to 4 weeks active sprint. So at the end of the sprint, we should have finished. We should deliver homepage.
Okay.
So it will no more be in our backlog
After the
anymore.
first sprint.
Yes, at the end of the first sprint, we will deliver homepage. That is what we call our potential shippable product. So once the first sprint finish, we then iterate through the same process again to deliver. Maybe the next one might be our registration page. We're going to do the same thing over again until we finish delivering that particular product. But unfortunately, you don't finish delivering it because changes will now come. That's why we'll now talk about business change life cycle, but that will be for another day.
You know, when you finish a sprint, in order to finish a sprint, do you go through the you go through any life cycle to finish a sprint?
You go through your sprint life cycle.
Okay, so there's a sprint life cycle.
Yeah. Each sprint is a life cycle on its own because it has a start and finish date, isn't it?
Yeah.
So each sprint is a life cycle on its own. It has a start and finish date, and we have to give update of what we are doing in that sprint, which is one of the Agile Scrum ceremony.
And there's a process the sprint must go through.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Doctor, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Is this refreshing your memory?
I'm not sure I even have any of this in my memory before.
Oh. It's a must you have this, so if you want to, okay. If you must be asked in an interview, this Agile Scrum is something that you will definitely be asked in an interview. And I think maybe a class setting would have been better, but at least I've tried to mimic a class setting a bit today.
Yeah. So home page.
So
Go on.
Yeah. So in each sprint, we must deliver a particular piece of the product. That's how it works. Okay. So I'll draw another diagram that will easily illustrate it quickly. I'll draw.
One thing I just want to quickly ask is, during that sprint, right? Do you have to go through the processes of software development? Like the would there be testing during that sprint? Okay.
Yes. Okay. Maybe I'm not. That you talk about sprint life cycle. I can explain to you what happens during the sprint. So in every sprint, okay. In every sprint, I can clean this. So in every sprint here, the developer.
Lashe, please let me switch on the lights. And let me close this place.
Okay, so in every sprint, developers.
Thank you.
What's wrong with this one? Developers will develop software features. Okay? Testers will test all developed features. Mr. Dele?
Yeah.
So that's what happens in sprint. The developers will develop, testers will test. So at the end of the sprint, whatever they've developed and tested and they're happy with, that is what will become our shippable.
So that will be the end of the sprint when you deliver shippable products.
Yeah. That will become incremental. Does that make sense?
So basically, development and testing, that's basically what comprises of a sprint.
Exactly. Because we have, I've not done the Agile ceremony and will not be able to do the Agile ceremony today because this class is meant to end 10 o'clock. But I will definitely continue on this because I can see that it's new and I have not actually finalized this slide. I think when I finalize this particular... Sorry guys, this one is now excited. So when I finalize this slide, it will make more sense. But Yes, we have the ceremony. I've not dealt with the ceremony. It is the ceremony that will explain other things for us. But during we have in the ceremony we have backlog grooming and we have sprint planning. But that is further down this slide. Okay. So, but that said, during the sprint is where the actual product is being produced. It's like the factory where the actual good will be produced. So what happens is developer will develop, tester will test, developer will develop, tester will test until the last day of the sprint. Whatever they've developed and tested, they will now add it to the existing product. That is when you get updates on your mobile phone. You see you have multiple updates coming. You need to update this app, update that app, update this app. It is because they are working in sprints and incrementally building the application.
Okay.
Even though the app has been launched and being used.
Yes. That's the difference between Agile and other methods. Okay, the app is already there. So let me draw this down. Let me give you guys one thing before we close the class. Then we can continue next week with this same topic, because the topic has looked bigger than I expected it. I wanted to go through the slide, but I knew I wouldn't be doing you guys any form of justice. So I will superimpose the Agile way with superimpose the Agile way with waterfall. Okay, so this is waterfall methodology. So we have the requirement. The requirement, the design, development, testing, delivery, maintenance. Okay, so this is the normal software development life cycle, and this is the waterfall. This is the waterfall model. But what Agile is now doing in waterfall, this stage will finish before you move to this stage. That stage will finish before you move to this stage. This stage will finish before you move to this stage. This will finish before you move to this stage. That's what happens. Okay, but Agile say
get to launching stage.
Yes. But Agile say no. This way, first and foremost, we are taking too long to build the software. Secondly, things will change and we cannot maintain our application, because by the time you take you 6 months to complete the requirement stage, Brexit has come in, inflation has come in, one other policy has come in, and you cannot maintain that particular process anymore. So instead of that, Agile will say, okay, let's take a little bit of the requirement, sprint 1, a little bit of the design, sprint 1, a little bit of the development, sprint 1, a little bit of testing, a little bit of delivery, a little bit of maintenance. So that's
and you launch.
The we launch what is called the minimum viable product. Okay, so once sprint 1 is done, we can now say, you know what, let's continue. So like this sprint 1 now, we've delivered home page. Okay, then we move to sprint 2. sprint 2. Maybe the registration, sprint 2 registration. So that's how we will keep building the software little by little until we get to finish building the software and just focus on maintaining the software. So whatever is left here is what we're going to be our product backlog. That we've not done is our product backlog. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that is the iteration that they talk about. Say Agile is an iterative methodology. So because we are building the software bit by bit.
But in an Agile environment, the software is never completed.
There's no, look, that's why when I teach this, I try to let people understand that this is a business. Okay? Lloyd's Bank is a business, going concern. Tesco is a going concern. So the business does not stop, is it?
No.
So if the business doesn't stop, then would you stop maintaining your software?
No.
You get what I'm saying? So there's nothing, even with the waterfall method, the traditional method, the difference is that they deliver their software in a big bang approach. That means when they follow requirement, design, development, test, deliver, maintain. For them to maintain their software, it will take them maybe once a year to add something to update their software, or once in 2 years. So they will have to go through this process again, big bang. But Agile say no, let's be doing it smaller, and be getting feedback. So even when we finish doing this, the maintenance stage, when I talk about, though, if I have the time in this mentoring class to talk about business change life cycle, you understand this aspect. So don't look at software as just software itself. Software is actually replacing real life processes. Formerly, you have to go to the bank for you to be able to make transfer, for you to create account, for you to apply for loan or mortgage. But today you don't have to, because you have a software. So that software still need to be maintained. If your software, if you say you've delivered it, okay, we are not updating it anymore. Government policy change, economic climate changes. And your software must respond to all of this. Brexit has come in now. By the time Brexit come in force next year, a lot of business will change. The GDPR came into existence. A lot of businesses changed. So you're not going to just sit back and say, we've delivered our software, we are okay, we're not going to change anything. No, it's a business. As long as the business is alive, the software is still will be maintained and improved upon. And technology changes. There are better ways of doing things. And because technology changes, you need to adopt the new technology that will be cheaper. Like the processor of 50 years ago is not the same processor that we have today. Okay? So as technology improves, you improve as well. Okay? So we are covering this as an IT mentoring, but it's about business as well. It's not just, don't just look at IT product as an IT product. No, it's a business. That's what we call digital transformation. We are moving business away from physical world to the digital world, and that business must be maintained so long as that business is alive. Okay. All right. I think that's it for today. We can't complete this class for today. From the look of things, I think I need about 6 hours to really drill deep into this project life cycle and software development life cycles. Any questions?
No.
Okay. Bidemi, no question. Dr. Shion.
Are we going to get a copy of this slide?
Yeah, I will not give you this slide now. When I improve on it, then I will give it to you guys.
All right.
Yeah, I need to improve on it. I need to. The slide might be in two parts. I can't just talk about agile methodology without actually talking about project life cycle and software development life cycle.
Yeah.
You will not understand what I'm saying. So I have to go from the background first. So I need to add that bit to the slide before I deliver it. And my goal is to improve on my slide in the sense that I work with my slide in an agile way. So I need to update it and make it look a bit contemporary for my candidate. I think we might. I think I will try. I'm trying to do something different. We might look to set up a face-to-face class as well, not just the online class, because I think using a board and seeing you guys it's going to make my delivery better. There's challenges with technology. Technology has its own limitation, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we need that, whereby we can even like brainstorm and get to know each other at least once in a while.
Work on that. All right. Without any
thank you.
Yeah, without any further questions, we catch up next week.
All right, I will speak with you tomorrow.
All right, no problem.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Dr. Seun, hope you are okay with the class. I know.
Yeah. This at least it's coming alive. Yeah.
All right, cool.
So we've not finished Agile.
No, we've not.
So let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah, go on.
At times, the Scrum and the Sprint could be a bit confusing. So Sprint is what's the duration of a Sprint and what's the duration of a Scrum?
Well, Scrum is the methodology. Sprint is one of the ceremonies. Okay, you guys just take this down. This will make life easier. I didn't capture this in the slide, but just take this down.
Okay.
Yeah, take this down. Let me just add it. I think this is going to give you guys like a framework of what we are talking about. So Agile Scrum has different I'll say elements. Okay. So the number one is the Agile Manifesto. Oops. Two, we have Agile ceremonies, which is equal to meetings. Okay, so let me list the ceremonies here. One, we have backlog grooming. Two, we have sprint planning. Three, we have daily stand-up, or they call it Scrum stand-up as well. If you see Scrum stand-up or daily stand-up, is the same thing. Let me put. Then four, we have demo or demonstration, but we call it demo for short. Five, we have retro or retrospective. Okay, so those are the ceremonies of Agile. Then we have the Agile artifacts. So for the Agile artifacts, so for the Agile artifacts, we have one, product backlog, 2, release backlog, 3, we have sprint backlog, 4, we have our active sprint,
who are the people that give us all these headaches?
This is the best way to work. Oh, don't worry. When you you have your user story. You have your user story. Seriously, this is the best way to work. For software, this is the best. Don't worry, you grab it. Just give me.
You know all these intellects. They always like the grammar.
But these are technical languages. But well, look, like for the sprint now, they coined that word sprint from the 100-meter sprint or 200-meter sprint. It has a start. It has a start and a finish, and it is short. It is short. It's not marathon. That's why they call it sprint. It's a short time. That's why between 2 to 4. That's why they use the word sprint.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Product backlog. I've already explained to you what product backlog is. Release backlog. I will explain to you that. I will explain to you guys all of this. I will explain them one after the other in the next class. But this is the structure of the Agile methodology. I want you guys to just have that structure there.
Okay. So you first have manifesto.
Yeah.
You have ceremony. You have retrospective, and then you have Agile Manifesto.
Artifacts.
Agile ceremony. Agile artifacts.
Yeah. So this is what you need to understand. Okay, I'm missing one important thing as well. I'll clean the top, okay? I'll clean the top. You've already written the top now. So we have we have our Agile team. So you have in the team you have your product owner, Scrum master, which is like the project manager, then the rest of the team.
Also the team, Abby?
Yes.
I can't see what you're writing on top.
That's the Agile team, yeah?
Okay. Agile
product owner, Scrum master, and rest of the team.
Yeah, so the rest will be team, they call it team members, which is
the developer.
BA, developer, testers. So the Scrum master is like the PM. The product owner is like the person that gives the direction of what we need to deliver in the next sprint or so.
So what's the difference between the Scrum master and the project manager?
That's why I say the Scrum master and the project manager is similar because, but there is a difference. I will not tackle that today. Okay. Let me just tackle it. Let me just quickly answer that. The Scrum master.
Why I'm a bit confused.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just because of this project that I'm working on. You know, the project manager is also doing the job of Scrum Master, and I can't see much difference.
Okay, there is a huge difference. The Scrum Master manages the day-to-day delivery of the product.
Okay.
Of the product. Okay.
Okay.
While the project manager manages the day-to-day delivery of the project. There are two different things. Hope you know that. Project manager is the project you talk about the time no, not requirement. When it comes to project management, you look at the time, you look at cost, you look at resources, the people that you need to be on the team, you look at quality, risk, project risk, now not product risk. You get what I'm saying? So these are the things that when monitoring a project, this is the things that a project manager focuses on. But for the Scrum Master, is now managing the user stories, the priority of the user story, the defect that is being raised or not raised, the meetings, how making sure that people attend their meetings, getting updates from them. So there are two different things. So Scrum Master manages the product delivery, project manager manages the project delivery. But a project manager could also be the Scrum Master.
Okay.
Okay.
So if I'm going to be a Scrum Master and a project manager at the same time, they should be paying me double now.
Well, if they are paying you 500 already, is that not double?
So, what does that one do, project manager? Because I know I have a friend that says, okay, he's going to do the Scrum Master certification or something. So what's that?
Well, what I'm teaching you is what the person learned.
Okay.
That's nothing. I've not when I finish. I've not finished it, but whatever the person is learning, that is what I'm teaching is what the person went to learn. Nothing else. You went to learn the Agile team, the Agile Manifesto, the Agile Artifacts, the Agile ceremony.
Yeah, but I think when they're actually managing the product and the project, you know, because these are very large and complicated products.
They are not very large. So people, when I talk about project, people think, look, I say something. A project could be you buying something for your children. You want to buy it. It's a project. Okay.
So is that what they are spending like £250,000 on?
No, but they need to maintain. They need to maintain it. That maybe the banking and finance, for instance, the insurance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There might be logics that are very, very complicated there. But there's also the media industries. Okay, there are other industries that the things are not. Look, sometimes you get to work here, you'll be asking yourself, why did I even come to work today? As in, or why are they paying me this much? But they still need you there, because if you are not there, something. Look, a tester will find a little bug, just one bug. That bug could save millions. Okay?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that you have to work. This industry doesn't mean that you have to work hard, as in physically hard, as in you don't have to. It is your knowledge that they need. Just one suggestion could give that. It could increase that profitability. Just one suggestion could lead to a huge profit for that company. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they want from you. Not necessarily being there physically, even. You know, it's a different industry. So you need to start having that mindset. It's a totally different industry. Not
so a mindset of how you can add value to that industry.
Yes, to that company.
How you can be giving ideas and also let's do this way. This is more cost effective. How you can make them more money and how you can reduce wastages and things like that.
That's the essence.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm just like what the doctor is saying. I'm just wondering why they will create these all these different rules for different individuals and pay them huge amount of money when one person can easily do the job of 3 rules.
No, that's not possible. You can,
for example, like the PM. Why can't the PM, the Scrum Master and the PM be the same?
Yeah, it can be the same, but how effective will that person be? That's the question.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They can do that, and technology has created new roles over the years.
Okay.
That did not exist before. Business analysis came in the last 15, 20 years. Testing in the last 10 years has blown in this country. Okay, in the last 20 years, it has been there gradually, but there was no official role as a tester before. No official role.
Okay, they never used to test softwares before.
They do test it, but the people that develop it will test it, or they will ask somebody, come and check this for me. That is it.
Okay.
But they actually realize that this is important because of the consequence of not testing. The consequences are huge, financial, life threatening, and this thing. What do they call that even? Your status in the this thing in the business world,
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah. I mean, we won't really be able to understand most of these things until we start to work in that kind of environment.
Yes.
And then we understand the reason why these roles exist.
When we start working on the website, when you start working on the website,
My baby.
I think it's time to round up.
It's time to round up. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll give you extra 20 minutes or so. It's my fault actually. I'm the one that made her cry. She doesn't want to even cry. Yeah. So yeah, good session. Come. Sorry. My bad. Sorry. Sorry now. Okay.
All right.
That's good night for us. If anybody has any questions, post me later. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So thank you.
Good night.
If anybody asks me about Scrum and being Scrum Master and all of that, it shouldn't be. I refuse to be hoodwinked again.
Pardon?
As if anybody asks me about Scrum Master, and I say I refuse to be. I can't be hoodwinked again.
Exactly.
My eyes are open. I know what it's all about.
Yeah, because your interview, they will definitely ask if you work in an agile environment before, and obviously you have to say yes and explain how you deliver. But we'll see. I think I will treat this in the next couple of weeks in depth. It's very important.
Okay.
And what I want to say is that once you guys come on board the project, once you start using Jira, you understand it perfectly.
Yeah, I want to use that Jira. Okay, let's know when we are starting on the project and we can get it.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.